Cheers.
No, no, no. I said,
You are what you do. My name's Sam. I'm one half of Save the Scene with Colm. I've been involved in the Glasgow, underground dance music scene for the last close to 20 years. As kind of DJ, promoter, punter, everything really. Mostly kind of known, for my work with the Lunacy Collective. We did like after parties, got a record label, do rolling papers as well. But yeah, that's kind of, a brief introduction to myself.
Yeah, I'm Colin, on behalf of Save the Scene with Sam. I've been involved in music for about probably 16 years now. I started off and played guitar in bands, and then when I was 20, I started got into dance music, started DJing under the name Colin, doing promoting nights across a variety of different genres. Started studying music business at Glasgow and Scotland, then on to UHI at Perth, which is where me and Sam met and we started working on Save the Scene together.
Nice. So is Save the Scene really been uni driven, kind of the foundation of it at the moment? Yeah, I think like for me personally, it was started from like obviously coming in at first year in the music business course. We got a real understanding of how the music industry works, like kind of a really kind of fundamental level. And as times went on, the more I've learned about it, understood it, spoke to people that like met people through the course as well, the more I kind of feeling of like there needs change in the music industry. So that's really, where Save the Scene was born. Obviously we had to kind of come up with a project for last year for one of our modules, but I guess it kind of grew arm and legs from that. It was just a little idea that we thought, this could be useful. But as time went on and we developed the idea further, it just kind of like grew arms and legs. So I think it really kind of resonated with a lot of people. But not just resonated with a lot of people, it's like there's a gap for it, like there's a need for it, I think. So yeah, that's kind of where I would say that it's came from. And so was there any particular moment where you realized that Save the Scene was something you guys wanted to do, where you guys met up and recognized something, or was it just
Probably isn't like one particular thing, but I've noticed over the years with venue closures, attendance number falling for club nights in particular. I wasn't going to gigs at this point, so I wasn't really sure, but I remember back when I first started going to clubs in 2015, Sub Club, for example, was open every day of the week, if not most nights. But now it's open Friday, Saturday, sometimes at that first night. Back then, there's a really popular night. You might remember the name of it. It was on Tuesday.
Tuesday, I Am.
I Am was huge.
Yeah.
It was packed every week. But like, if someone tried to start a club night on Tuesday now,
you really struggle.
You would struggle. But so when Sam came to me with the idea of starting something like this, it felt very natural. It's definitely something I wanted to get on board with.
Okay. So was it like, would you describe it or responsibility something you want to do or something you had to do? Like, had to advocate, or you really just impassioned to?
It's a bit of both, isn't it?
Yeah, I think as the project's developed, like we've done, obviously we've been involved with NTIA. They've like contacted us, and we've been involved in like a nighttime task force in Glasgow, and it's a hot topic, but it's also a topic where it's very kind of business led. So it's like you've got all these kind of business owners that are really like obviously worrying about their livelihood, their clubs, all that sort of stuff. But there's not really that much advocacy for like artists, promoters, DJs, all that sort of thing. That's what we've kind of found to be kind of lacking, especially in Scotland. There's not a massive amount of cohesion, and it seems to be like people are pulling in the right direction, but they're all pulling in individual directions. So what our kind of thinking is, and the hope for it, is really to kind of maybe bring everyone together and pull in the one direction, and have a bit more of a collective voice, as it was. I remember your guys' event last year at the Pyramid. It ended up gaining a lot of traction. You guys got a mention in the Herald. Yeah. So when you guys started it off and you guys were talking about it, do you imagine from point A to point B that you would have had the traction that you did get, the response you got from across the scene?
No. I feel like we did, we did expect it, but we didn't expect it.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people purposely, but we both said to each other when we put that first post out on Instagram, we were like, is your phone going mental as well?
Yeah. It was overwhelming, to be honest. And it's always a bit like, I think when you've got something like a reaction like that, there's a responsibility after it. So that's why it's been a bit quiet, but we've kind of just been trying to figure out exactly what to do next. But that's definitely something we're well on the way with what the plans are. And did that like initial response help you drive forward, made it something like solidify it as more than just an idea, but as an actual something you...
We saw like the appetite that there was for change out there. It really made us think, right, this isn't something we can just half-arse, we need to do it properly. Yeah. So we have to maybe change course slightly just to be more professional, but it's been beneficial definitely. Definitely. I think like that gave us a lot of interest, but it was also people that were just wanting to help. It was like, people approaching us and saying, how can I get sorts of things? So it was like, again, pretty overwhelming, especially the response, like that kind of reaction. And then obviously the Herald taking interest in things, like it's especially if you've been involved, not really been involved in anything like that before or anything like that, with that kind of potential for what would you call that, change. It's a bit like, there's a responsibility that you've got to like do it right. So that's why I think we're kind of taking our time with it, making sure we're doing the right things. This is for the benefit of everyone. We're not doing this to like push ourselves forward or anything like that. We're doing this because if something doesn't happen, if we don't step in, or we don't take any kind of action, or we don't like try and at least do something, we're not going to have any venues, we're not going to have any nightclubs. We're going to be spaces for people to express themselves. They're not going to be spaces for people to, like really discover themselves, which I think for me personally is what, especially club culture, people are going into these environments where they're maybe not been before. It's a safe space for you to really kind of express yourself and really, I guess, kind of get to know yourself as well. So I think it's important, not just for us, but like for the future as well, for future people to be able to experience or have these experiences that, have been so beneficial and amazing for me. Like, and I'm sure Colin's exactly the same. It's not just sort of spaces on this outline, it's culture at the end of the day. I don't know, it's just this not culture, like gigs, it's not culture, but it's not, symphonies, artworks, it's popular culture. Yeah. And if you lose that, we're losing something really special. And not only just losing the culture, you need to think about the economic damage it would do to the country if we were to lose all these places, because you wouldn't lose jobs. Yeah. When we lose all this money coming out of the economy, so it's really important. Yeah. So especially to Glasgow being a city of music, it's fundamental to identity at the bare minimum. Exactly. It's a working class city, but it's also a city that's produced some of the biggest bands that have come out of the UK, for a city of 1.5 million people to produce what it has produced. Yeah. The fundamentals have to be there. The culture has to be there to move it forward. Yeah, exactly. So, in your time in music advocacy, is there any groups or people that you felt a particular synergy with that you really want to highlight their work and what they've done for the scene? Yeah, the one that we were really inspired by at the start was Free the Night over in Ireland. They've been working since 2021 to really bring about progressive changes to the north of Ireland, and we've been doing that, trying to bring about changes so the infrastructure at night's better, so they've got better street lighting, which we could do within Glasgow. Yeah. Public transport, do with that as well. And one that struck a chord with me particularly was they're trying to prevent the sort of creative brain drain that's happening in a lot of places in the UK, but particularly in Northern Ireland over there, where everyone just ends up going down to London to get work. They want to keep the best and brightest in the load off. Yeah. So they keep losing people like that in any scene, it's going to also damage it. So we need to try our best to keep them where they are,
Yeah.
and make opportunities here. So Friday night have been a big inspiration to us.
Yeah. I think as well, the work at the Scottish Music Industry Association as well, so they're very Scotland, obviously focused in Scotland, and are real big advocates for just the general music industry in Scotland. I think what they're doing is really, really pushing forward for Scotland. I think as Colin mentions as well, the brain drain and like folk not really seeing the opportunities in Scotland. Like there's a ceiling when you're in Scotland. Like you'll reach a certain level. If you're a band, you'll sell out King Tut's. Where'd you go then? You're going to go to London. Or if you're like, if you're wanting to like be an artist manager, like artist liaison, anything like that, like to earn a living or to earn any kind of opportunity, you're going to have to go to London, or at least going to have to move somewhere that isn't Scotland, because the opportunities in this country just is. I mean, I'm not saying there's none, but there could be a lot more. And I think the brain drain is a big it's an issue. And I think it's not just an issue in music, it's an issue of all culture, like all cultural TV, film, everything. Like we've got so much talent up here, we have so many good creatives, but it's like the pool of London is, I do understand because it's good money, but we're losing a lot of really good people. And that's really detrimental to building a really good foundation in Scotland. And I think SMUA, Scottish Music Industry Association, they're really pushing to they're really their view and their kind of vision is very like Scotland positive. I've been working with them, like doing a placement with them, so I've got a good understanding of like their day-to-day work. There is only 4 of them for this entirety of the Scottish music industry, which when I first learned that, I was like, that's mental, because it's like, and they're doing so much work for such little, like with such little resources. And I think again, that's another problem that Scotland's got as well. It's like it's got a limited pool of resources for all these different kind of projects. And I think again, that's another issue that needs to be kind of looked at. You've got you've got different ministers that are dealing with like culture and sport. Like Angus Robertson is like, if you go on his like page for the Scottish Government website, you'll see what he's responsible for, and it's a list of so much very different. And that's nothing like to do with him. That's not his problem. It's not his decision. But you can't really focus on something or really give it your full attention if you've got so many other responsibilities. So I think that's something that really needs to kind of be looked at. And I think that's something that's we are pushing for. Nighttime Industry Association as well. They're definitely a big advocate for Scotland as well. Obviously they're national for the whole of the UK, but you've got like Mike Grieve, who's he's the chair for the Scottish arm of the NTI, and he's a massive advocate for Scotland, obviously being the boss of some clubs. So I think there's a lot of people doing a lot of good things, and it's good to kind of just shine a light on it. But I think it goes back to what I was saying about like pulling in different directions. People are wanting different things, but they're all kind of come back and really focus and pull in the one direction, which I think would be much more beneficial to everybody.
And kind of moving on from Save the Scene, and just to talk a bit more about yourselves. Obviously, you both mentioned that you're DJs, and where did that start for you? Where did your love for dance music where was that evolution into what you're doing?
You want to go first?
I'll go. So I started DJing when I was 14, I think. Started listening to like trance, hardcore, and gabber. So I was like primarily like a gabber DJ from when I was like 14 till I was about 20. Started DJing in clubs when I was about 16, 17. Started out in Soundhouse, which is a real blast from the past, if anyone remembers that. It was like a private members club, if you could call it that. It was like down in Anderston. It's kind of a bit iconic in the underground scene. And then I kind of took a wee break for a couple of years, came back and got involved in Lunacy, which is at the after hours. Went there one night with my mate who was like really close to everybody.
As soon as I got there, I was like, I wanted involved. So I started PRing for them. Then I started basically just getting more and more involved. And that kind of led on to DJing like quite a lot in the after hours scene as well. And then moving on from that, I've just been kind of doing the odd club night here and there, DJing Chinaski's once or twice a month. And yeah, like it's kind of doing record label stuff as well for Lunacy. That's another wee project I'm looking at just now as well. So there's, as they would say in the industry, big things coming. But yeah, that's kind of, I guess, my history of where I've been.
Yeah, I started off, as I mentioned, playing in bands when I was 13. I played in various punk bands, pop punk bands when I was up until the age of 19. And then when I was 20, I had a few friends who moved through to Glasgow for uni. I never really listened to dance music properly before. I listened to, well, I moved to Edinburgh when I was 13, had no internet for 2 weeks. Could you imagine that now?
No.
But I had no way of access to music, but I found that I get a CD with The Prodigy.
Nice.
So I rinsed that for 3 months. I got into dance music that way. I was also a big fan of Red on Time with Black Box.
Nice.
So, but then I was just never listened to dance music again for a while. With made friends, people after school, and I got to a lot of trance and hardstyle, which wasn't for me. I was moved to Glasgow, started going to more parties. I thought, right, I'll check it out, see if there's anything for me. I got really into sort of the more commercial side of tech house at first. I remember hearing Forget by Patrick Talking. I was hooked, but then since then, I think I went through a phase of playing and listening to like every single song genre there is.
Yeah.
But I started DJing when I was 21. So I mean 2017. I bought a controller a year before. Didn't know how to work it at first, so I was in a couple for a while, and a half. Came back to it a year later, managed to get the hang of it, and there's a few people that I knew that I thought that they wanted to get involved in Saturday night, so put one on in a little club called Warehouse. It was called at the time, I think it's called Depot now. Owned by the people who own audio. Then I got to the owner of a bar called North Star, or Beatle as it was more commonly known, looking for new DJs. So I was like, we'll just do it. Went in and spoke to him, and we started the residency there. We were meant to play once every 2 weeks, but that take changed it every week, and we did that every week, every Thursday, and then maybe 1 or 2 Saturdays a month up until COVID. Then after that, back to Thursdays, and then some Saturdays as well. But I moved to Glasgow in 2023, and just started from there. More sort of tech house events. I was doing more disco back and forth, but doing tech house events. I'm trying to do anyway. Since then, worked with my mate doing a club night called Relay. That's more UK garage and breakbeat. Played in various bars, Glasgow. So yeah, just got a bit of full circle now back in tech house, but yeah, it's been great fun so far.
And what was like the best worst experience you've had being DJs playing in bands?
I think the best one that I had was last year. I played at Cabaret Voltaire in Edinburgh with Canny Beat for a fly event. They called it Waxmas, but none of us were playing records. So I don't know why I did that. But it was me, Shano, who runs Canny Beat, 2 guys from Edinburgh who live and play here now, who are drummer, Charlie and Leon, and Sans Power Custom Carriage, and she was headlining it.
Alright, so sure.
I was horribly stressed before it. I had so many uni deadlines, and I was just thinking I was going to make an arse of it. But when I started playing, all the nerves just go away.
Yeah.
But everyone was telling me afterwards that I was, oh, that's amazing. I don't really like dance music, but it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
There was one guy in particular, I remember, it was some bald Dutch guy who played one track in particular. It was, regardless of what it was, you heard it, he was just screaming at me the full time, like, yes! Direct eye contact. I was like, oh, thank you, man. It's a bit off-putting, but it was great feedback.
Oh, the Dutch love dance music, man. Like, you go there and it's just everywhere. Like you
Yeah.
cannot get away from it. But it's great, especially when you go and visit. Like there's just random like weekend long parties.
Yeah.
Or just non-stop.
I love the Holland. I've been to them recently, and they really have got a real appreciation for dance music. I think for me, probably best experience, probably when I went what we were doing at the time, but it was a lunacy night, and it was like, I think it was probably about five in the morning, and me and my mate, my best mate Danny, were DJing. Then we back to back in the upstairs of lunacy, and Boiler Room were filming. They were doing, I think it was around about the time when they were doing their kind of like documentary type thing on the after party scene in Glasgow, because it was really pretty mental at that particular point. I think there was about 8 or 9 different after parties going on every single weekend. So Boiler Room did take a real interest. So they came and filmed with us. And none of this get released because we decided against it after all. But DJ Stingray had been playing it with Cheetah, and DJ Stingray came to Lunacy, got brought by one of the promoters at Cheetah, and ended up, me and Danny did a set, ended up warming up for DJ Stingray, who went on right after us, which was really, really good. DJ Stingray was pretty shit hot. And yeah, all around it was just like a really hilarious experience watching Boiler Room trying to get through the crowd with a boom mic, and every 2 seconds someone jumping up and grabbing it. So they decided that they were not going to film any tracking shots, and because it was just so busy. It is also just filled with 5 o'clock in the morning, about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, in a sweaty warehouse. It was pretty good. Yeah, so that's probably that's my best experience, I think, I would say.
I mean, what do they really expect?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going into Glasgow at that time of the morning.
The real experience, and that's definitely the real experience, especially there.
But I think for now, we're going to sit down, have some dinner,
Nice.
get some good food, and then continue this in the morning.
To this.